Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Craven Some Raven, your one-stop podcast for all things Ravens when it comes to my fan theories, predictions, breakdowns, maybe even a conspiracy theory or two. So let's just get right into things, because I want to be breaking down this upcoming game that we have up against the New England Patriots. And boy, this is a doozy. Sunday Night Football. Another week, another game of the week. Obviously, it's not 2 weeks in a row because when we played the Seahawks, we had the bye. But, 2 weeks in a row for the Ravens that they are playing in the game of the week. And obviously, this is not just the matchup of the week, but out Sunday Night Football under the lights. The Ravens are going to be able to show their true colors, i.e. all black, because they will be rocking the all blacks this game. And I can't tell you how excited I am to watch that go. Watch that uniform run all up and down the field under the lights. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast or not, but I really wanted them to make this the blackout game where they wear the all blacks. I didn't hear anything until just this past week, so super excited. I'm kind of hoping they modify it a little bit. Instead of going with the white numbers and names, I hope they just move it to the purple. Right? Like that QB uniform that you wear in practice, that Lamar would have in practice, where it's the purple numbers and the purple names. God, that would be a thing of beauty. But, maybe in a future episode we'll talk about some uniform changes that I would be totally open for. I mean, eventually one day they should be able to do the throwbacks. You know what? That would be awesome. What if instead of the all blacks, they do like the throwbacks, like the 1996 uniforms? I think that would look dope. I think they're old enough as of now. They may be a little bit younger than me as a team, but they're old enough to give us a throwback. I mean, one of these days they're going to come out with the throwbacks, and I think that'll be dope. But getting straight into things, even though I said that at the start, 2 minutes in now, we'll finally talk about this game. This is your classic matchup of unstoppable object versus an immovable force, or unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Now, obviously, both teams, like the Ravens offense, they're not an unstoppable force. The Pats defense, they're not an immovable object. But, it's a common thread among stories where you got two juggernauts at their respective spots. Obviously, the Patriots, man, they're putting up crazy numbers. Crazy low numbers. I mean, they're off the charts, or I guess under the charts, because they're putting up numbers that are at a historic level. And the Ravens, they, at least franchise-wise, are putting up numbers that they've never done before. Maybe in that inaugural 1996 year, but I mean, for the first time in forever, we have a truly dynamic and amazing offense. I think as of right now, we are ranked number 2. But, I don't think we have maybe that number 2 offense. I just think we're super dynamic and we consistently move the ball. And this is the matchup that everyone is going to be talking about. Ravens offense versus Pats defense. And don't worry, I will get to breaking down the Pats offense versus the Ravens defense, but I just want to get straight to the juicy stuff, the good stuff, the one that the matchup that everyone is talking about, that everybody can't wait for. I hope the Ravens, I hope the Pats win the toss and elect to defer. As much as I don't like that for the fact that they'll get the ball maybe twice, being able to get the ball first after the first half. Yeah, I don't like that, but, just get right into it, right? Like the start of the game, I want to see these two go at it. Will the Pats be able to stop Lamar? Will they? I don't know. Because what the Pats do great is man-to-man coverage on the outside, and then using that ability on the outside to stuff the run on the inside by being able to bring a bunch of bodies into the middle of the field and say, hey, you can't run it against 8 guys. We can go man-to-man on the outside, bring some zero blitzes. They're doing what the Ravens did last year, right? And that's why the Ravens were the number 1 defense, because that is a type of defense. If you can lock down everybody on the outside, and then you can allocate all those resources, all of those extra players to stopping anything else over the middle and up front, that's how you can stop a lot of offenses. Now, obviously, the Ravens are built that way, and they like to do that, and I'll get to that, right? Like I said, I'll get to that later. But that's how they are built too, and it works. And the Patriots have been killing it. Now, the big question about all of this is, who have the Patriots played? Who has been their big test? You could say the Bills are the best team that they've faced, but, how lethal really is that offense? I don't think it's comparable to what the Ravens do. And this is going to be the common theme, until the game starts. This is going to be the question that is going to be answered. It's, will the Patriots be able to stop the Ravens? This is going to be their biggest test. I'm sorry, fumbling over my words. I'm a little excited, and I also got the Thursday night game on. Got it on silent, of course, but watching San Francisco versus Arizona in the background, so I might lose some concentration a little bit as I'm staring at a screen. But I have San Francisco in this game. I will be doing a Pick'ems episode. I'm gonna try to record that one tomorrow night, so you'll have that before I get started. 79-42 on the year. So I got the 49ers, just so you know that I'm not lying. Currently it's 14-17. So, it's like, oh, did I cheat? No. Everybody has the 49ers. I am not crazy. I'm not the only one who's on that line of thinking that they're going to dominate. Now, the Cardinals came out swinging, but screw them. They are not the Ravens. Who wants to talk about them? They're the least of the bird teams, right? Maybe the Falcons are worse, but we're talking about the Ravens and this Patriots defense. And like I was saying before, what they do great, right? Man to man on the outside, and stack the box up the middle. Now that's great. They can do that. I feel fine with that. Send all the blitzes you want. Play man-to-man, because what that opens up is that leaves Lamar open, where he can break loose like he always does each and every game, where he will throw the sauce on somebody, maybe two players on one play. Even in that Seahawks game, he juked three people, put three people on the turf with one move. So we've seen him do it. I don't think you can stop Lamar's ability to run. I have a theory on how you can, but if the Patriots decide to do what they've been doing all year, I don't think that's a way to stop Lamar from scrambling, because you go man-to-man, your backs are going to be turned to him, and if he gets loose, he's off. That's a 30-yard gain automatically. So, do the Patriots try to change this up? Because a lot of talk is, Bill Belichick, and not just a lot of talk, this is what Bill Belichick does, right? He takes away your best attribute, right? No matter what it takes. So, what does he see our greatest strength is? I think most people agree, and I think probably Bill Belichick agrees, that it's under the legs of Lamar, or on the legs of Lamar. Once he gets going, it gets the whole team going. It gets his energy up. It gets the hype. It opens everything across the board. And so you go man-to-man, you leave him open, right? And, will they be able to get pressure? I don't think so. He will be the most mobile quarterback that they have faced. Now, they went up against Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, right, he's a mobile quarterback. He gets tons of numbers scrambling. But I don't think it even fucking compares to Lamar Jackson and the ability of Lamar Jackson. My opinions about the guy. MVP, Hall of Fame. He's going places, man. He'll be on the cover of Madden, which... the more I think about it, I don't want the curse. He'll be in Hulu ads, which I don't want. I don't want him distracted. But, he will be a face of the NFL after this season. I think he already has started to kind of build that aura around him. And I think another good game against these Pats, this legendary defense that hasn't played anybody, is going to really solidify him, especially in the MVP discussion and just in the eyes of the league, because everyone is going to be watching. Now, like, you saw the change after the Seahawks game, right? They were coming in, everyone had their opinions about Lamar, and I talked about this. You know that these motherfuckers aren't watching Lamar. Because the best case, and I talked about this, once you watch Lamar, your tune changes, and you start saying things like, wow, Lamar is special. He could be one of the best to ever do it. You start saying these lofty, crazy things about a guy who hasn't even played a full season. And the perfect example is, I want to say his name is Mark Schlereth. He was on, not Part of My Take. Think for Yourself? No, what is it? It's Marcellus Marcellus, Willie, I don't know. Either way, first it's FS1. What is that? No, this is gonna bug me. It's not part of my take. That's a different show. Either way, damn it, this is bugging me. Speak for yourself. That's what it's called. Speak for yourself with Jason Whitlock. And so Mark Schlereth, he goes on and he goes on there quite a bit, and he's always had his opinions about Lamar. He always says, hey, things like he's going to get injured doing this. You can't keep doing this. Now, I like what they're doing, but you can't just keep running this guy. You're going to break his legs. It's not going to work out for you. So of course he works the game. Yeah, you heard his name, or you heard his voice over that Seahawks game if you're watching it on Red Zone or just watching the national coverage. And this week, talking about going against the Patriots, his tune completely changed from doubting Lamar, not thinking that this can work and it's going to ruin his career, to saying things like, man, this guy just does not get hit. They're doing things differently. This is something that's really tough to stop. And it's just another example of Lamar just shooting down all the doubters, because once you watch him, everyone who watches him thinks, damn, that kid is special. And I think this is the perfect prime time example, prime time to do it, right? Going against the Patriots in prime time under the lights, rocking the All Blacks, going to be looking great out there. Going to be rocking the most beautiful uniforms we got. And so will Lamar Jackson be able to do this against the Patriots defense? And I'm going to keep asking that and keep not answering it, because we don't know. I really don't know. This is a tricky matchup, because the Patriots, I think they do have a really good defense. And I'm going to keep saying it, they haven't really played much. Apparently, I heard someone say this. I'm not going to look it up because it kind of goes with my thoughts about this thing. But apparently, throughout history, they have had the easiest schedule to date. And when it comes to opponents they've played, win totals. So, like, the amount of wins that the opponents that they've played so far this season has been less than any other team throughout NFL history since they've been tracking this shit. And, there's a lot that goes into that. It's just a number. Some teams are definitely better than their records. And so, it's just a stat line. And you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, just like any stat line. But anytime you got the greatest defense in history, according to the numbers. And you also got the easiest schedule, according to history. And they're facing the toughest test in Lamar Jackson. And they can play man-to-man, like I said. Let Lamar Jackson run. And like I started saying before I got off on a tangent, is that Bill Belichick likes to stop what you do great. And if he tries to stop Lamar, right, you stack the box, maybe run a little bit more zone, so that way you got eyes on him, right? You got eyes on Lamar Jackson, which is great. Oh, Breida going. Holy shit. That was like a 50-yard run. Either way, let them go zone. Because either you go man or you go zone. I think no matter how many you put in the box, I think we're going to be able to move the ball. I think we're going to be able to run the ball. The Browns were able to do it. I don't see a reason why we can't. Maybe that was designed by them. Maybe they wanted Nick Chubb to run because they didn't want to be beat over the top by an OBJ. So maybe it was by design. But I think, if they were able to run, the best team in the league at running, there's no reason we can't do it, right? As the best team in the league at running. And so I hope they go zone. And here's why. It'll limit Lamar scrambling, right? But who do we have at tight end? Mark Andrews. And something I've noticed, and I think a lot of Ravens fans have noticed, is that that's Lamar's guy, right? And where does Mark Andrews excel? Going against what defense? I'll give you a second. You got it? You got it? Oh, yes, you, in the corner. Yes, you are correct. You get one token. I don't know. Either way, it is going against zone defense. Mark Andrews is elite at going against the zone defense. He can find the soft spot in his zone like no one's business. So I'm thinking, I hope they go zone. I hope they bring pressure, because Lamar is going to be running around and he is going to be looking for his security blanket in Mark Andrews, who defeats the zone scheme. And, thinking about his games, right? Recently, he hasn't had great games, but Lamar's had good rushing games. What does this mean? I think the past couple games where Mark Andrews hasn't played to his standard of 100-yard games each and every week at the start of the season. And I think that's because recently people are trying to go man to man. That's the reason Mark Andrews has less production and the reason Lamar has more production. This isn't like a crazy conspiracy theory coincidence. No, it's causation. The Mark Andrews production goes down and Lamar's running production goes up, specifically in the scrambling, because he sees everyone's back turned to him, so Lamar takes off. And you go against zone, Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson are going to beat you over the middle. Now, they have excellent corners, right? They have excellent linebackers, but no one else has been able to do it. And obviously, they're the best defense, right? But I think everyone has a series. Or do we want to go man-to-man, or do we want to go zone? Because you go man-to-man, we're getting Marquise Brown back, right? So you go man-to-man. I think that's how you stop Marquise Brown, because he's a small, speedy guy. But you get your hands on him early on in the route, or bump him, play press coverage. You're going to disrupt the timing. He's not going to be able to get off. Eventually, he will be able to get his speed, and maybe you'll get one over the top just going man. But if you go zone, he will chew through those zones, right? He will sprint full speed and just run straight through those zones. So as the Patriots, okay, do you want to go man to man and have a better chance at stopping Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown, all the Mars, but have less luck stopping Lamar? Or do you say, hey, we can't let Lamar run around, we can't let him get outside the pocket, let's go zone, let's have the whole team basically spying on him? That's great, but now that leaves open the wide receiver and tight end combo that we have. So it's kind of this 1-2 punch, pick your poison. And I think that this is why this is going to be the game of the week, the matchup of the week, why everyone's excited for it. Because, depending on how you want to play Lamar, they have a recipe for it. And, everyone goes back to that Chargers game. It's like, oh, well, let's do what they did. And that's what everyone started doing against us at the beginning of the year. And Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown just going off because they kill it against the zone. Coincidence? They're both from Oklahoma? I think not. I think they are just accustomed to going against zone coverage at Oklahoma. And they know how to find the soft spot. They know how to get through it. They know how to beat it. Now, you will stop Lamar from getting crazy production. He'll still get 10 yards here, 10 yards there. He'll still be able to get out of bounds and do that. But you will not be able to cover the same way that you were if you were to go man-to-man. So it's pick your poison. And, I think we put up points up against the Patriots. And, more on that, speak for yourself. God, did I just get the name wrong again? Either way, that Jason Whitlock show and James Harrison and Marcellus Whitley. I'm butchering these motherfuckers' names, but they're saying, Bill Belichick wants you to play the slow game, wants you to beat him going all the way down the field. Get rid of the big play, get rid of the chunk yardage, and make you go 5 yards at a time down the field. And that's a great plan. I subscribe to that idea that, hey, let them try to drive down. Eventually, they will make a mistake. And I think we will. You try to do that, we might make a mistake. But that is our game plan. Our whole game plan is built on good defense, keeping the ball, and methodically moving down the field and just choking the life out of another team. That is our plan. That has always been our plan. Time of possession and great defense. And they kind of go hand in hand to try to win that time of possession, these long drives. And they've had these long drives that just go on forever, where in real life time, it's like, God damn, the Ravens have had the ball for 45 minutes. And it's like, all right, well, now what? Do I get another beer? I was just going to have one beer in this possession, but I already drank it. Like they've had the ball for far too long. So, they could say that, oh, we'll let you methodically move down the field. Great. That is what we do. That is what the Ravens do. Crab cakes and football, baby, because that's what Maryland does. Okay? Wedding Crashers. Great movie. But, yeah, because the phrase is, try to beat us in a cloud of dust and choke on your own dust. Motherfucker, dust is fuel. There's a lot of minerals in there. That's what we use as fuel as a Ravens team. Lamar Jackson keeps any play alive. Now, he has gotten sacked for it. He's not unsackable. It's just when you do that, you bring pressure, you leave lanes open, right? And that is something that is just demoralizing to a defense. These long drives that are just continued by a well-defended play, but Lamar just getting out and doing something special, doing something that he has done since he was fucking 7 years old, doing some highlight level shit, like a step back, like, ooh, looking good. Throw the sauce on him. And I don't think this Patriots defense has had long sustained drives, right? They haven't had to defend that. What happens when it gets to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plays? Because we've proven that we can do that. We do it all the fucking time, where we take 9 minutes to drive. And it's not like some fluke, because we've done it in each and every game. Even when the team's not playing well, we still find a way to hold on to the ball. And, this Patriots defense, they haven't had to defend against that, right? They haven't had to put their hands on their hips because they were tired, because they've been playing with house money this whole time. The defense has been so good, been taking the ball away so much, that their offense can chill. Their whole team is playing with house money, with how productive they've been. We got to cut down the mistakes, right? You can't turn the ball over, because that's how the Patriots beat you on defense. That's why this defense has been so good. That's where these historic numbers come from, where they choke the life out of you, not by stopping you on third down, but by turning the ball over, by being opportunistic when the ball comes their way. And so far this year, the Ravens' MO has been not turning it over. That was the big question coming out of last year. Will Lamar cut down on the fumbles? Will he cut down on interceptions? Will he continue to make the right strides to not make stupid, rookie mistakes? Small little things. He still hasn't played a full season. And so far this year, he's had some interceptions, but I think all but 4 of them, maybe 3 of them, receivers had their hands on the ball. They weren't really an interceptable play. It's just, damn it, come on, guys. A couple of them were caused by the refs, especially in that Steelers game where there's 2 of them, where it's like, that's pass interference, that ball was on the ground. But, ticky-tack stuff. But the fumbling issue, I don't think he's fumbled once. I think there's been a couple balls that go on the ground, but they've been picked up by him. You don't want to see it. You don't want to give the Patriots any leeway, because this game is tough, and we will not have any leeway. For us to win, which I think we can, we are going to have to be damn near perfect when it comes to the turnover battle. Hopefully we get some and they get none, and that's how we are going to beat this team. Because like I said, this Patriots defense, they haven't had to face a team against long offensive drives. Let's make this defense tired, which will, slowly but surely by the fourth quarter, it'll open up the playbook. No matter how they want to defend it, if you can sustain drives, it's like body blows in boxing, right? You just keep hitting the body, that just beat up your opponent. And then eventually in the 12th round, just knock him out. You've been going to the body, and eventually you'll crack a rib, right? Something will break on that defense. And Lamar Jackson is the ultimate uppercut to any NFL defense. You can have the play perfectly defended, you got the pocket all set, and Lamar just whoop whoop, he's out, right? A bing bada boom, and he's gone. And this is the matchup, and this is what is going to make this game great. I hope they're going to be able to move the ball. In general, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, because speaking on the Ravens defense versus the Patriots offense, it doesn't make me nervous at all. It's almost the same exact case where it's who have the Patriots played. And that it almost goes two ways, right? This is why this is such a intriguing and awesome matchup for, sports talk radio and, hyping up the game and everyone kind of talking about it, because you got a Patriots team on a historic rate when it comes to defense and just blowing out opponents, but they haven't played anybody. So it's, the team that hasn't played, that hasn't really been tested versus another team in the Ravens where you could say, hey, they haven't really been tested, right? The Seahawks, the Chiefs, and they lost to the Chiefs, they lost to the Browns. So it's, have they really been tested by a great, great team? I don't think you can say that. I don't really think you could say that about either team. Well, if you could say it about the Patriots, right? Now, I obviously haven't fully formed my opinions, if you can tell. That's what this whole podcast is about. Not really fully forming your opinions and then just speaking them out to the world. That's how shit gets done. Making a harsh decision or a harsh, crazy, either way. This, you could say the Patriots haven't played anybody, and you could say the Ravens haven't played anybody. So it's who do you pick in this game, right? I think the Ravens have had a tougher schedule versus the Patriots with the easiest schedule. So who do you think is actually better? When you try to do the football math, it never works out. Where you say, oh, they beat this person, and then we beat that person who beat that person, so we should beat that team. That's not how it works. Football math doesn't work. It's a week-to-week matchup any given Sunday, and I think the Patriots are vulnerable because their offense, I don't think it's all that great. They really aren't that good, and I think our defense, at the time, they're getting healthy. They're getting back to what they're built for, right? Strong in the back end and just sending a bunch of people up front, and that's what the Ravens do. That's how this team is built, and we're getting Jimmy Smith back, right? We're getting Peanut back, right? Peanut's going to be on that weak side spot. He's going to be more of a free roaming kind of linebacker, doing what he did last year, doing what made him really good and what made the Ravens want to bring him back. We're also getting Jimmy Smith back, right? One of the better cornerbacks in the league, one of the better cornerbacks on our team. We still have Marlon Humphrey. We got Marcus Peters. Now, I think the Ravens defense is a perfect? Hell no. But they're getting the pieces back. They're getting back to form of what they had last year, kind of the formula of what they had last year. And in recent weeks, they have been playing better. You get the linebackers going, Josh Bynes and LJ Fort, and now you add in a Peanut, keeping those old heads fresh. This team, like I said, it's getting healthy at the right time. At the right time. So, they're getting healthy. God damn, I've been talking straight for like 30 minutes. Holy shit. I paused it once because I couldn't think of Whitlock's name. But I'm hyped about this game, right? This is why I can speak this long. This is just one game, and this is the game, right? This is the game. None of the other games have mattered. I don't think any of the other games will matter. Obviously, they will matter, but when this schedule came out, this is the game, right? It's been a classic. It's been a classic rivalry that we need to get back to. Not the interconference battle, right? When the Ravens were doing well, they would always go up against the Patriots, and the Patriots have just continued to be there, to continue to have success. Now they're 100% beatable, but they've continued to be in the playoffs and have great seeding, no matter what. And so I think with Lamar and with this defense getting back to form, we can do that. And this is the perfect game to prove it, to prove to the world, with all of America's eyes, at least all of America who cares about football, all of their eyes, right? And so as much as the hype for Lamar increased with that Seahawks game, it's going to be double, triple if he puts on a show versus New England. Now, I think even if they don't win, right, Lamar is going to do some special things. We know this about the kid. We know that he is going to do some crazy shit on the field that makes you go, damn, like in Friday. Like he is something special, and he's going to have a lot of eyes on him, and he is going to ball out. He's gonna get a lot of hype, and this Ravens team will subsequently. Whether you think, oh, I like him as an underdog, who gives a fuck, right? I would rather have people talking about the Ravens. Let them say whatever they want, like, oh, I think they're frauds, whatever. As long as they're being talked about. And Lamar is what gives us that chance. And Tom Brady, right, he is the GOAT among GOATs. He's done it before. He's got all the rings to prove it. But rings aren't won by one player. They're won by the coaches. They're won by the team. It's a team effort. Now, I think, it kind of just undermines everything I'm saying about Lamar, but, it's Tom Brady hasn't been playing the way he's used to. And this team has been so dominant, like I was saying before. The defense has been so dominant that the offense is just playing with house money. They haven't been that impressive, not to me. They've been playing with such a lead that, maybe you could say they've been conservative on offense just because they don't want to turn it over and they know their defense is suffocating. Maybe. That may be the case. This is why this is such a great debate when it comes to this game. or they're just not that impressive, right? They've been playing with house money. On defense they've been so dominant, they're able to do things that they shouldn't be able to get away with, right? Zero blitzes damn near every snap. You're not going to be able to do that against Lamar. Or when it comes to their offense, right? They can throw a bomb here, they can throw a bomb there, because they don't have to methodically move down the field. They don't have to do that because they know that their team is going to get a stop. And so, this game, it comes down to, shit, I want to say this game almost comes down to the kickers. The Patriots don't have a kicker, and the Ravens have one of the best in history. If not the best, one of the best, right? So I think this is definitely going to be a game won by a kicker, and I'm thinking it's Justin Tucker who gets the win. And if the Ravens lose, I think it's on a Justin Tucker kick for the win. It's up, it's looking good, and then a bird flies in and knocks the ball out of the air on some crazy controversial bullshit that always happens between these Ravens and Patriots game. Because the Patriots have a fix-in on the refs. That's not true. That's just me being angry because of how successful they've been. But you go back and watch basically any game that's close with the Patriots, late in the game, they have a drive where it's about 3 long-ass penalties to get them into scoring positions. Like, oh man, Tom Brady is great. No. You had like 1,000 yards and penalties go your way on some ticky-tack bullshit. So, that's just me being frustrated. But it's true. It seems like that's what always happens. But this is the game of the week, the matchup that everyone is going to be watching, because everyone who loves the NFL now has their eye on Lamar. They saw them get the win, and even if they didn't see it, they saw some highlights. And like, okay, maybe I'll have to watch this game. It's the night game, and then they'll see the play in between play. They'll see him getting out of a sack. They'll see him throw a stiff arm. They'll see him with a nasty step back. Lamar Jackson has brought NBA hype to the NFL, right? The NBA, it's a super flashy, super exciting, one cut, ooh, crossed you over kind of sport. Very flashy, high scoring. It's just like fireworks. And Lamar has brought that to the NFL with just his exciting play, where play in and play out. Once he has the ball in his hands, it's must-see TV. It is eyes glued to the TV because he is a second away from doing something special. Now, this is turning into a Lamar Hype podcast, but like I've said before, every single episode is a Lamar Hype episode. This is craving some Raven. And I got a fever. The only prescription. Some more Ravens. So, this Patriots team, what are they, 7-0? 8-0? Either way, they're undefeated. But playing scrubs. And there's a lot of talk about the stat that Bill Belichick is like 21-0 against first and second year quarterbacks. That's great. That's a great stat. John Harbaugh is, like 10 and something. I don't know the fucking stats. I am just a Ravens fan who sometimes just turns a blind eye to some stats. Because half the time, you look at his stat, oh, well, he's actually the best player during a leap year on a Wednesday when there's a full moon in a snowstorm. Then he is the best. Like, you can cherry pick stats, and they never tell the whole story. Stats' purpose is to kind of put everybody on the same field, right? To put, not everybody can play everybody at the same time, so you can't stack everybody up. Now, you can visually do it and like, oh, I think this guy's better than this guy. Ooh, so it's like the classic eye test versus stats, because the stats don't tell the whole story. They just put people on an equal playing field and say, hey, okay, in this department, then by the numbers, they're better. But you go ahead and watch the game. It's a completely different story, right? And sometimes, with stats, it's causation versus the other one. Causation and either way. Cause and effect. Affectation? That's not the right word. Cause and effect, People who own horses are healthier. Now, that's not... They are healthier, right? I don't know if this is a true stat, but it makes sense. People who own horses are healthier, are generally healthier. Now, it's not because of the horse. It's because if you own a horse, you have money and you have good health care and access to doctors. So you can say, oh, they're healthier. People with horses are healthier than people without horses. But it's not the horses. So, it's that different causality, right? Is this a stat that says, hey, this is why they are the way they are? Or it's like a coincidence? Or it's like a different reasoning? Either way, that's just a little rant on stats, I guess. But Bill Belichick, he's a great coach. He's the best, I think, to ever do it. The stats say, right, there's other coaches with more wins, but I mean, Belichick's, his dominance, it's proven and it's well known. But what's also well known is he has trouble against running quarterbacks, and that's just another reason why it's like, well, he'll have something planned up, right? Of course he is. Of course he will. And he did all those other times. And Cam Newton, Greg Roman, and Colin Kaepernick, they had success. Even Tim Tebow had success. And Tim Tebow's trash. Jesus loves him, but he's trash. And I heard kind of an interesting theory that I didn't think of, and I thought was a pretty good one. On the Stephen A. Smith show, Max Kellerman, I think is his name, he had a take about this game that I thought was very interesting, and I felt like if you didn't see it, I need to share it, because I don't know if I agree with it, but I could see this happening. He says, like, I have a sneaky suspicion, and, this is not a direct quote. I'm just kind of repeating what I got from it, kind of somewhat. But he was saying that maybe, the Ravens kind of have a leg up in this game because Bill Belichick is the kind of guy who's crazy enough and is looking so far down the line that he thinks maybe we'll be seeing this Ravens team again. So we let them do what they do. We don't come up with any special game plan. We don't do anything that will hinder their production, so that when we meet up in the future in the playoffs, they will have this game plan. It's like, where did this come from? Why didn't they do this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, they had their number. What the hell happened? That he will just be saving this for a future time when we play them again. I get that. I think Belichick would be crazy enough to do some stupid shit like that. Risk a loss just to have something in the gun when we play them again. In the cannon. Have a plan in the can. And I get it. I understand the reasoning, and I could see it. I could see that, but I think that's overthinking things, right? That is saying, listen, you just need the win, right? I think Bill Belichick as a coach, he's been doing it for so many years. He's been so successful. I think that reason is because he does whatever it takes to get the win. It doesn't matter. You try to get the win each and every game. You don't just let one by just so in the future maybe you got something planned for him. I could see that being a thing. So it's tough, man. Do you think he would actually do that? Do you think Bill Belichick would actually just let the Ravens win? Not let them win, still play them tough, but not pull up a game plan just so that he can have a game plan when we play him in the future. See what we decide to do versus what he does, and then use that against us. I think he's crazy enough to do that. But will he, though? He's a good coach. Good coaches don't like losing. But once again, yeah, he's a crazy motherfucker. You could see some Sith Lord type bullshit. You could see him doing that, right? So, this is definitely going to be a great, great game. And I'm definitely going to talk about this more when I do the game picks, because when I do the game picks, I do it with my buddy Niklas, who is a Patriots fan. So if you listen to that, you'll hear some ignorant, dumbass takes. I'm sure you will. Basically, the burp of takes. Yeah, man. I don't know what else to say about this game. I feel like I had some more thoughts on it, but I've just exhausted all of my energy by basically yelling at you people for about 40 minutes. Yeah, because there's been some other stuff. I guess we signed Willie Snead, but I'll get into that in a later episode. Some more movement. Something interesting else actually about this game. Just remember, it's like we switched the Ravens and the Patriots. They swapped players, right? They got Justin Bethel. We got Umadurba, some guy with some weird ass name. Omafangu, Helifano, Omafandu, hold my fondue, hold the line, dude, something like that. So we basically swap players, and I think both teams, zero dark thundering these motherfuckers. What do they do? Tell me, where is Osama bin Laden? Right? Where is he? What is he doing? Trying to get the game plans, trying to get the calls. I'm sure they change it. And, these coaches, you can bring in a player and they can tell you all that they want, but you still got to go out there and have success. You still got to go out there and do it. And everyone has access to tape, so all that stuff is already on film. So really doesn't matter. But I think both of these coaches, once they picked up Justin Bethel, I think John Harbaugh went to DeCosta and was like, pick up one of their motherfuckers. The person that they got rid of, pick that motherfucker up. Because if they're going to be taking that, if they're going to be zero dark thundering our guy, I want to be waterboarding his guy. Tit for tat, an eye for an eye makes the whole world wear eye patches. So when life gives you lemons, put them in your shirt and make titties because they already have nipples. And I don't know, all great phrases, but yeah, man, I think. I definitely have some more thoughts, I'm sure. I thought about a bunch of them today. I'm like, ooh, I got to do the podcast, got to get excited. So I got off work. I'm super hyped talking about this game because this is some motherfucking game. This is going to be playoff atmosphere. I'm sure it's going to be cold at night. You're probably going to see some breath in the air, like the fake smoke or whatever. The science, come on, where are you at? Middle school science, what is that shit called? Yeah. When you breathe out and like the smoke comes out, but it's not smoke, it's fucking carbon. No. Jesus. God, I'm dumb. So, hey man, it's going to be cold, going to be exciting. Going to be at home too, which is awesome. We haven't had a night primetime game in forever. And it's about time. We're going to have Lamar Jackson, so I think it's going to continue. We're going to get a lot of primetime games going forward. I think we're going to have a lot of flex games, especially with the schedule coming up. 49ers, Texans. Got the Bengals again, which, man, I don't know about that. But, Texans, 49ers, Rams, all in like this 4-game span. So that is definitely going to be a tough stretch. And it all kicks off with this game. Coming after the bye, hopefully Greg Roman has some stuff planned. I think he does. Hopefully, all these pieces that we're getting back as we are getting healthier, I hope they all produce and come back to regular season form where they don't need a drive and a half to get warmed up. I hope they just come right back into it, hot and heavy. I think like with Marquise Brown and Jimmy Smith, they were probably ready to come back, but they were like, all right, let's just wait. Let's just wait till after the bye. We'll make your debut versus the Patriots, and we'll make it one of these things like, is he playing? Is he not? I don't know, dude. I don't know. We'll find out. So, give another little wrinkle for Belichick. It's like, are they playing? Are they not playing? What do we got going on here, huh? What's going on? So, it's definitely going to be a good game. Goddamn, I hope it's not a fucking blowout because I am hyping up this game and saying all sorts of shit about how I think the Ravens are going to do it. And I really genuinely think they can. I think the Patriots haven't been tested in the way that we are able to test teams, in a multitude of different ways. What Lamar is able to do. He just kind of opens up the whole field, makes you defend everything. That old common phrase, you got to defend the whole field when you're facing this guy. So I think this is going to be their biggest test, and we'll see what the Patriots are made of. And more importantly, we will see what the Ravens and Lamar Jackson are made of. And I think they're made of gold, or they're made of whatever metal the Lombardi Trophy is made out of. Silver? I don't know. It could be fucking polished aluminum. But either way, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I will definitely break down some more shit. I'm always talking Ravens. I'm always giving out theories and thoughts, ideas, and breakdowns and all sorts of fun shit. This is Craving Some Raven podcast, and it's not just a podcast, it's a way of life, because if you're listening, you are also craving some Raven, right? We are all a part of this. I'm not craving some Raven, we are craving some Raven. I am Groot, we are Groot. Either way, that's gonna do it. So if you're listening on YouTube, please, like it, comment on it. Let me know your thoughts, how you feel about this. This, like I said, it is a podcast, so I am on all the major podcasting platforms. If you like to, lock your phone, put it in your pocket, and listen to some great Ravens content, I will be on your favorite podcasting app. So, with that being said, thank you for listening, and go Ravens!